All right, let's get to love-hate quarterbacks.
And we caught you, nerds.
Star Trek a bit before my time, Matthew. Quantum Leap was the first sci-fi show that I watched in
fair
1989. All right, let's take a look at 1 through 10 in the QB ranks, headlined by Drake Maye.
They had the movies, though. You're a big movie guy.
Yeah,
Star
big movie
Trek
guy.
movies.
Sure.
They had.
They never grabbed me as much as Star Wars. I'm like you, a Star Wars guy.
Anyway, you see Drake Maye there, my number one overall quarterback. It's all bad Cincinnati stuff, right? 5 of the last 6 quarterbacks to finish a game against the Bengals have scored at least 20 fantasy points. They've given up at least 2 touchdown passes in 9 of the past 10. They have the second highest implied team total this week as well. So the only concern here is does the same thing happen where Travion Henderson just runs a bunch of touchdowns in and Drake Maye has a great game but not a huge fantasy day? But look at the last 6 quarterbacks against Cincinnati. Bo Nix, Jared Goff, Jared Love, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields, and Caleb Williams, all, with the exception of Love, all had north of 20 fantasy points. Caleb over 38, Nix with 25, on and on and on. It's a great matchup. Maye's playing as well as any quarterback in the NFL. He's my number one quarterback this week.
Second favorite to win MVP. A guy who has a couple MVPs, Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes against the Colts. Season on the line.
Oh, yeah.
Big total. Chiefs 3.5-point favorites. What are you expecting from Patrice?
Love that 50.5 over under there. But Patrick Mahomes, quarterback 27, weeks 9 through 11 in fantasy points per game. But you're at home now. You're going against the Colts, who, even with Sauce Gardner, allowed 3 touchdowns, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal to the Atlanta Falcons, right? So now you're Patrick Mahomes, who you've only had 8 rushing yards in your last 2 games combined. The previous 4, Patrick Mahomes averaged 37.5 rushing yards per game. So he has to run that ball. Justin Herbert, when he went up against this Colts defense, he used his legs. And they didn't win the game, but it was effective to that end. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to run the ball more. He's going to do what it takes. I think we're going to have to get playoff Patrick Mahomes, and we know he runs the ball more in those situations. And like you said earlier, Matthew, these Chiefs at home can't afford to go under 500. So Patrick Mahomes on my love list this week in your top 5.
Yep. I think what we're going to see a lot of is a lot of man coverage, a lot of guys not getting open, but then also not much pass rush from the Colts because that's not really their strength.
Right.
And a lot of
DeForest Buckner anymore.
DeForest Buckner, it's a lot of layout to Latu and not much else, so Patrick Mahomes might scramble around. Matthew Stafford, he's the MVP favorite. He plays on Sunday Night Football against the Bucs defense that Josh Allen just scored 1 million touchdowns against.
That's exactly right. They're 31st in pass defense, the Buccaneers are, since week 5. They give them over 277 yards per game. And then you think about how Matthew Stafford has played. He's been red hot, obviously. Puka very healthy. Adams very healthy. No quarterback has more pass attempts inside the red zone this year than Matthew Stafford. Rams have the 4th highest implied team total this week. And so, again, we talk about it all this time. Tampa Bay, very good run defense, kind of a pass funnel defense. So I think it is, a really favorable matchup here for Matthew Stafford. He's my QB6 on the week. And I am sure I will be talking about Mr. Stafford on Football Night in America later this week.
Indeed. Okay. Question from Cobra Kiger. Shot for shot, Matthew Stafford will outscore Josh Allen this week in fantasy.
I don't doubt that at all.
Cobra Kiger. I mean, again, the Texans defense is legit, short week.
Yeah. It's like Josh Allen because of the rushing, but not a crazy shot.
Yeah.
Listen, if the Rams get inside the 5, inside the 3, they are throwing that ball. Right. Devontae Adams, that's like how Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams used to look with those little pop touches.
Yep.
Yeah.
Indeed. Okay, love list for me. We missed out on Brocktober due to a turf toe, but we segued straight into Brockvember. And Brock Purdy now on Monday Night Football gets the Carolina Panthers, a very susceptible pass defense that does not scare you. I think the main thing is that Purdy, he just looked like himself against the Cardinals. Not so much the stats, which were great, and he had the 3 touchdowns, but he was just moving around freely. He looked a lot better than when he came back the first time from this injury. So Brock Vember rolls on in earnest. Let's get to others receiving votes. Headlined by Jared Goff, Matthew, with a bit of an easier matchup this time against the Giants and the Eagles.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know he was brutal last week, but I'm back in this week. Last 4 weeks, the Giants allow passing touchdowns at the highest rate in the sport. Since week 6, they allow 25 fantasy points per game to opposing quarterbacks. And how about Jacoby Brissett, who, since he became the starter, is literally the 4th best quarterback in fantasy football. He's been a top 12 quarterback in all 5 weeks. 5 of the last 6 quarterbacks to face the Jaguars have had at least 20 fantasy points. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotorWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.